there. My name is Kelly Cody Grimm,
And I'm Max Grimm.
and we are Creative Actors Lab. What we want to do is just talk a little bit about how you can bring creativity into your everyday life.
Hey, everybody, it's Max, and I'm going solo this week. So, welcome to the podcast. What I want to do this week, and actually, Kelly will be doing the editing on this later, so she is definitely part of this. But for just this week, it's going to be just me. And the reason being is I wanted to sort of get you all familiar with kind of like how my creative process works in terms of my voice. Particularly in doing voiceover, and what I'm finally doing is I am finally putting together a series of voiceover demos, putting them onto a web page, and I'm starting to contact agents because this is something I've always wanted to do. Um, Although I really teaching and directing is really where my heart was found uh, in terms of in terms of acting and in terms of the theater and in movies and so forth. But I finally am putting everything together for myself to go out and to start getting voiceover work. It's something I've helped a lot of other people do. Just I'm finally doing it for myself. So, what I wanted to do is there's this one website. If you go on Google, you can find a bunch of websites out there with these voiceover practice scripts. They're free, they're public domain, they're fictional products and companies and things like that. But they're there for just to practice. And the voice, like anything else, it's a muscle. It has to be worked out. It has to be exercised, and you have to practice this. Now, if you've ever had me as a teacher, and we got into the subject of voice. No doubt you heard the story about how, up until I was 15 years old, I had a really bad speech impediment. I had a really bad stutter. And I finally got to a speech therapist and learned the mechanics of how to speak and breathing from the diaphragm and articulation and diction and enunciation and everything like that. So, what I'm doing these days, I put these demos together and I'm just recording them as I go. And what I want to try to do, as much as is possible, is to pretty much get it in 3 takes. And the way it may will most likely go is you'll get your voiceover job, you'll get a script, you won't get a whole heck of a lot of time, if any, to read through the script. Back in the days when Kelly and I were doing live radio theater, we would get our material, maybe an hour before the show, maybe 90 minutes if we were lucky, and sometimes it was being changed right up until airtime. So you just it was not the most comfortable situation to be in, but that's okay. I kind of prefer it that way. It keeps you on your toes, and you really cannot get complacent or anything like that. And it's just a matter of practice and repetition, 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 until you get enough confidence to go into this sort of work, that you really just have to trust yourself. You just have to trust your ability and work on your instincts and go with that, because you don't have a whole lot of time to analyze any of it. So, that being said, I've got a couple things here. I've got a glass of water. You have got to stay hydrated. So I'm sipping on water. The other thing is I have a pencil. Another thing, if you've ever had me as a teacher and we got into voice to any degree, I showed you the pencil trick. It's the old radio announcer's trick of basically setting the reset button on the mechanics of your voice. And you take a pencil, you hold it in your teeth, and you speak whatever it is you're going to speak, and imagining that the words are flowing over the top of the pencil. And if you do this, what will happen is I would recommend make a recording of your voice before you do the pencil trick, and you read whatever your script is, whatever your dialogue is, and then you take the pencil and you stick it in your mouth. Like if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this, but for everybody else, I have a pencil basically stuck in my mouth. I'm holding it between my teeth, and I'm speaking like this, imagining that the uh, words are flowing like water over the top of the pencil. So what I've been doing is I'm just going to this one particular website with a whole bunch of just different practice voiceover scripts, and I intentionally kind of just randomly pick one out of whatever category, and I don't look at it a whole lot first. I just kind of go into it and trust my instincts and practice, practice, practice. So this first one, I just am looking at right now. This is a 15-second technical voiceover script sample. And just to read it to you, this is the first time I'm reading it, but it says, PharmaMe's Better Me capsule is recommended for adults over 18 years of age who are suffering from adenovirus. And it's actually got a pronunciation. It's ADENO virus. So for adults over 18 years of age who are suffering from adenovirus infections. If you have chronic conditions, the Better Me capsule may not be suitable for you. Contact your physician for more details. So the first thing I would do is just read it, just get the words under my tongue one time and not worry about don't worry about a performance, just technically see what you're looking at. And just to me off the top of my head, this is there's not a lot of drama, there's not a lot of stagecraft, there's not a lot of theatricality in this. You're just trying to communicate a message. And I think for myself, just sitting here, I would be recommending or not recommending a medicine because you care about the person that you were speaking to, whoever that may be. So that would take on sort of the coloring, the flavoring, the emotional coloring of the script. So, and also I find when I'm doing this that I really need to be, my face needs to be animated. I need to make sure that my mouth is moving, that my tongue is engaged, that, I'm pronouncing all of the consonants very crisply and I'm pronouncing the vowels very smoothly. And I would do that by using the pencil trick. So start off with, PharmaMe's Better Me capsule is recommended for adults over 18 years of age who are suffering from adenovirus infections. If you have chronic conditions, the Better Me capsule may not be suitable for you. Consult your physician for more details. And what I would do is I would think about this, like, who am I talking to? Somebody that I care about. Let's say it's like my mom and she's not feeling well. And I was just, Mom, PharmaMe's Better Me capsule is recommended for adults over 18 years of age who are suffering from adenovirus infections. If you have chronic conditions, the Better Me capsule may not be suitable for you. Consult your physician for more details. And just say it in a very caring, gentle sort of a way. And I'll take the pencil, stick the pencil in my mouth, and go, PharmaMe's Better Me capsule is recommended for adults over 18 years of age who are suffering from adenovirus infections. If you have chronic conditions, the Better Me capsule may not be suitable for you. Consult your physician for more details. And as I'm doing this also, if you can't see this, I'm sort of using my hand as like a mechanical sort of assistant to get the ebb and flow and the different enunciations and breaking down of the sentences in a way that is interesting to the listener's ears. So after I've done the pencil test, I take the pencil out, and then because the pencil in your mouth is kind of like if you're practicing to run a foot race, this is like putting weights on your legs. It just makes it harder for you to run. And then you take the weights off and you go to do the same run, and all of a sudden it's so much easier. It's the same idea with the pencil. It's this impediment. And if you can speak clearly through the impediment, then you take the impediment away. It becomes so much easier. So if I were to do this, take one would sound like this, and I'm gonna do an inhale through my mouth. It's kind of like and what that does is that gives the sound editor, which is sometimes yourself, or in this case going to be Kelly, that you would do your first inhale before you would start recording. And that little inhale gives the sound editor of like an actual visual cue on the sound waves to say, okay, start here. So it would sound like this. PharmaMe's Better Me capsule is recommended for adults over 18 years of age who are suffering from adenovirus infections. If you have chronic conditions, the Better Me capsule may not be suitable for you. Consult your physician for more details. And cut. So try that one more time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back a little bit from the microphone because with my stage trained voice, I can get sometimes a bit too loud for the microphone. So I do have to kind of like back off and consciously take the volume of my voice down. Otherwise, it just blows out the speakers. But take two would sound like, PharmaMe's Better Me capsule is recommended for adults over 18 years of age who are suffering from adenovirus infections. If you have chronic conditions, the Better Me capsule may not be suitable for you. Consult your physician for more details. And cut. And try it one more time, and this time to sound more authoritative. PharmaMe's Better Me capsule is recommended for adults over 18 years of age who are suffering from adenovirus infections. If you have chronic conditions, the Better Me capsule may not be suitable for you. Consult your physician for more details. And cut. So, and then after this, about every minute or so when you're vocalizing, drink the water. Because drinking the water will actually, if you go to do this and you're even slightly dehydrated, your voice is going to crack. You're going to have like all kinds of like lip smacking and and tongue smacking and all this other stuff, and your plosive, like your consonants, like p's and t's. They're not going to come out smoothly. It's rather than pa, it's going to be, and that air is going to hit the microphone, and that drives sound engineers crazy. So anyway, let us try another one, and I'm just going to randomly pick one from VoiceOver Sample Scripts. Let's try retail commercial scripts, okay? I'm just going to do a short one, just like a 15-second. And okay, this will be the first time I am seeing this. And here we go. So this is the first time I'm seeing this 15-second internet ad sample script. It starts off with, what do your mornings look like? What do they sound like? The mashup is a voice-activated blender that lists off smoothie ingredients so you can kickstart your day with a nutritious burst of flavor. When you're ready, just ask it to mash up. Now, what do you think your mornings taste like? Just to go off the top of my head, and what I'm not going to do is analyze this, but it sounds to me like you've got like a very bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, first thing in the morning kind of person without coffee. So it's that sort of like upbeat. It's like, I can show you a better way to start off your day that's going to make you feel so good first thing in the morning. And of course, that feeling is going to go on for the whole rest of the day. Look how much better I'm making your life. So it would sound like, what do your mornings look like? Are you hungover? Are you sleepy? Are you depressed? Are you frustrated? What do they sound like? Is everything too loud? Well, the answer is, well, guess what, you lucky so-and-so? I happen to have the answer to all your problems. The mashup is a voice-activated blender that lists off smoothie ingredients. Okay, now there's a pronunciation thing. That lists off smoothie ingredients so you can kickstart your day with a nutritious burst of flavor. When you're ready, just ask it to mash up. Now, what do your mornings look like? If you're just happy, I think one thing also I would do, if I were to do this, I would as I'm speaking, I would put a big smile on my face. So everything I would say would be said through a big smile, like I'm saying it right now, and it's just my face. I'm just giving myself a big smile on my face like this, and look what that does to the inflection, to the melody, to the cadence of my voice. What do your mornings look like? What do they sound like? The mashup is a voice-activated blender. How cool is that? The mashup is a voice-activated blender that lists off smoothie ingredients so you can kickstart your day with a nutritious burst of flavor. When you're ready, just ask it to mash up. Now, what do your mornings taste like? Now, what do your mornings taste like? Okay. So, pencil trick. What do your mornings look like? What do they sound like? The Mashup is a voice-activated blender that lists off smoothie ingredients so you can kickstart your day with a nutritious burst of flavor. When you're ready, just ask it to mash up. Now, what do your mornings taste like? Okay, so you basically are giving somebody the answer to all their problems, and it's something as simple as a smoothie first thing in the morning, and you've got your oranges and your yogurt and your spinach and your protein powder, and it's just wonderful. So, sip of water and take one. And there's some things I'm going to do this a couple of times because I can see particularly the voice activated blender that lists off smoothie ingredients so you can kickstart your day with a nutritious burst of flavor. I'm going to really exaggerate my face. So one more practice. What do your mornings look like? What do they sound like? The Mashup is a voice-activated blender that lists off smoothie ingredients so you can kickstart your day with a nutritious burst of flavor. When you're ready, just ask it to mash up. Now, what do your mornings taste like? So, without further ado, with a big smile on my face, knowing that I'm giving you the answer to all of your problems, Bunky. It goes like this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do your mornings look like? What do they sound like? The Mashup is a voice-activated blender that lists off smoothie ingredients so you can kickstart your day with a nutritious burst of flavor. When you are ready, just ask it to mash up. Now, what do your mornings taste like? All right, I want to do a couple of things differently here. A nutritious burst of wonderful flavor. Now, what do your mornings taste like? All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do your mornings look like? What do they sound like? The Mashup is a voice-activated blender that lists off smoothie ingredients so you can kickstart your day with a nutritious burst of flavor. When you're ready, just ask it to mash up. Now, what do your mornings taste like? And hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And honestly, so much of this, I think, is more so than anything. And I see a lot of actors do this. Working with Kelly was working with somebody a couple of nights ago, and is struggling to do this one particular piece. And I was sort of standing there, and I got asked, "What do you think what do you think would help?" And let me just say, I think you are overthinking the absolute life out of this. And you can start doing stuff like this, and it can turn into the phenomenon of paralysis by analysis. Is what I'm trying to say. With this, you've just got to have fun with it. You just got to trust yourself. You just got to kind of let fly. Just let rip. Do one more take for a mashup, and it would go like such. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do your mornings look like? What do they sound like? The Mashup is a voice-activated blender that lists off smoothie ingredients so you can kickstart your day with a nutritious burst of flavor. When you're ready, just ask it to mash up. Now, what do your mornings taste like? I want to do one more here. And again, I want to pick something that is just completely different from that. Here's something I know just about nothing about. So let's try that one. Let's try Sound Stories video game voiceover script. No idea what I'm going to find here. Let's see here. So, okay, the script goes like this. Glebe comes to a fork in the road and on his or her journey. And the first line is, which way should I go? Selects left. Let's go on this way. And walking through an enchanted forest, as Glebe walks through the enchanted forest, he or she is awestruck by all of the fireflies and mythical animals. Oh, ah. And it says a floating arrow is pointing down towards the ground. Glebe stoops down to investigate. Glebe says, "This looks like a map. The map highlights a trail pointing to the endpoint, which looks like a castle. Glebe says, I'll follow the trail to the castle. I bet that's where Bobo is. I'm going to need some supplies first. Then Glebe excitedly starts to run to different parts of the forest, running out of breath along the way. He or she finds a golden key and squeals with excitement. Glebe says, there must be other clues in this forest. Let's find them. So, for the record, I'm not a gamer. I've never been a gamer. I frankly, myself personally, I really have no interest in becoming a gamer. Other people do. That's fantastic. It's just not my thing. But as I am brought to understand, there's a lot of work to be had doing audiobooks and video game scripts. So in this way, I'm gonna hark back to my old days of doing live radio theater. And I think it would sound like this. And what I would do, I'll say the line, and then I will not say the direction, but I will give a pause to let the sound editor, kind of chop that up and put it into and put the sound where it needs to be within the context of the project. So I'll do my pencil trick first, and it'll sound like this. Which way should I go? Oh, this looks like a map. I'll follow the trail to the castle. I'll bet that's where Bobo is. I'm going to need some supplies first. There must be other clues in this forest. Let's find them. And again, this to me is just plain having fun. Really, just have fun doing something like this. Don't overthink, but it would go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Which way should I go? Let's go this way. Oh, this looks like a map. I'll follow the trail to the castle. I'll bet that's where Bobo is. I'm going to need some supplies first. There must be other clues in this forest. Let's find them. And in this, I'm thinking, who am I talking to? I'm basically speaking to the person playing the game. So there's just a lot of, hey, come on, dude, let's go have an adventure. It'll be great. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Which way should I go? Let's go on this way. Oh, this looks like a map. I'll follow the trail to the castle. I'll bet that's where Bobo is. I'm going to need some supplies first. There must be other clues in this forest. Let's find them. And try it one way. And let's do a different characterization, maybe a bit of a swashbuckler. So let me step back from the microphone a bit, using my not full projected theater voice, but this is more of the voice I would use on stage, as something would go like in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Which way should I go? Let's go on this way. Oh, this looks like a map. I'll follow the trail to the castle. I bet that's where Bobo is. I'm going to need some supplies first. There must be other clues in this forest. Let's find them. And that is basically how I would practice this stuff. To be perfectly honest, it would be I really prefer working with other people. But so much of the way people are doing voiceover these days is they're doing it from like a home studio sort of thing. So they don't have a lot of direct feedback. So I will say for myself, and I would recommend this really for anyone else, is make sure that whoever is in charge of the project, that you have got very regular communication with them, and that really every day or every time you produce any amount of work, just make sure that they listen to it and just say, okay, is this what we want? Is this the path? Am I going down the right path? Do you have any criticisms? Do you want me to take anything out, or do you want me to do more of something else, or keep doing what I'm doing, or just you really need that feedback? All actors do, but that is one thing I'll say I am seeing in terms of voiceover work is so many people will just kind of want to do the voiceover and then send it into the person, then just get paid. And I just think that is really a bad approach. You really need to be around other people. You really need to make sure that you're getting the feedback, make sure that you're giving the client what they want. I remember, this is a brief story. I remember going to a writer's conference and seeing somebody who was talking about audiobooks. And this woman was up there talking about audiobooks, and of all the information she gave, there was, frankly, it was some of the worst advice I've ever heard, really, just in terms of actors, and how they deal with their clients, how they, and just in terms of how to do business. But it was basically, she did somebody's audiobook, did the whole entire thing. There was some stuff in it. She actually mispronounced some words. She mispronounced the author's last name. It was just sloppy all around. And when the guy came back and said, "Look, you've got to fix this and that," she said something about, he does not know how this works. And she's saying this in front of a room full of a couple of hundred people, with the guy actually there pointing at him, going, "This is what I did," and he was upset that I mispronounced his last name, and like, "No, I'm not going to fix it. That's too bad." Okay, folks, that's terrible advice. That's terrible advice. So just, I would say, just as you're doing this, yes, have fun. Yes, trust your intuition. Just be spontaneous with it. Practice, practice, practice. Make sure that you have just all the good vocal, core training, breathing from your diaphragm, and smooth vowels and crisp consonants. And you do your tuttica, 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 and your buddy gutta, buddy gutta, buddy gutta, buddy gutta, and your red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, and all of those great exercises. Just keep your voice, keep your instrument in tune. It's a muscle like any other muscle. You've got to exercise it. You've got to practice it. It's the voice. It just becomes muscle memory. But at the same time, do make sure that you get plenty of feedback along the way from whomever is in charge of the project. If you know things, how they prefer you to do things and voice things is going to be really important each step of the way, not until you finish the entire project and then they go, "Oops, we don't like this and we don't like that." So feedback, again, is very, very important. And just practice, practice, practice. And as I'm sitting here, I'm not, expecting anything to be perfect. What I would say to you is, and I've said this to actors in general, if you are pursuing perfection, you're going to drive yourself nuts. Pursue excellence, because you can consistently, whatever your performance is, whatever your product is, you can, be it acting or whatever, you can more consistently achieve excellence a greater percentage of the time than you can achieve perfection. So strive for excellence. Don't strive for perfection. And how you get to be excellent: practice, 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 repetition, repetition, repetition. Anyway, I do hope this has been helpful. This is kind of me on my little journey of voiceover here. It's I've done a lot of things as an actor. I've done doing live radio theater many years ago, but this voiceover stuff, this is something I have always wanted to do. I've done Shakespeare, I've done avant-garde, I've done performance art, I've been a modern dancer, I've done many stage productions. I've done any amount of video work and film work, but the whole thing of voiceovers, of just the whole thing of saying, and you're saying things like, "Hello, and thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line. One of our representatives will be with you shortly." And just have fun with it. Just have fun. I do hope this is helpful, and thank you guys for listening. Much love. Create art, not war, and I will see you good folks next time. Until then.
We appreciate you guys tuning in, and keep in mind that you can catch us on our social media, Creative Actors Lab on Instagram and Facebook, and by the same name on YouTube. And for more on what we do, you can go to our website,
creativeactorslab.com, all one word. Thank you for listening. Stay curious, make art, not war. Much love until next time.